Hi guys, we're at the Uniswap Wyckoff session again. So last time we put in a tag in the chart saying, hey, is Uniswap heading towards a new buying climax? And just last week we saw very big red candlesticks. So let's see what is going on and what could we expect from what happened. So here we see these massive actions, and I would say it's pretty normal during the PSY period for such kind of price fluctuations. So last time it was quite smooth, but not without like a red big range kind of movement. Likewise, in even the early days was pretty crazy, so that can't be a good reference. But if you have look at the other charts as well, when I cover other altcoins, this is absolutely normal. So while we have this kind of fluctuations, I hope it's not like I hope it's not the buying climax over here, because what happened was back in March, the buying climax was at the purple level, and the last one we had in December last year, it went way higher than that. So this time it will be very disappointing if the buying climax is at this $12 level, like somewhere between the 11.20 cents and $12, these two key levels. So hopefully that's not the case, and that's still the PSY. That's what I'm hoping for, at least when I draw a line to check the upward support, the uptrend support. This, what we are seeing right now, is still within the upward slope or trend or support line. Depends on how you like to name it. So just consider this dashed line a support for the upward momentum. So it finds support both at the green line and this yellow dashed line this week. So hopefully that continues. Just one thing is this volume is pretty low. There's still half a week to go. So hopefully the green can continue, and that's where like the buying climax would be a little bit higher and the PSY stays here. Obviously it can come outside of this, because as usual we see these triangles along this uptrend. So by September latest, the price has to either trade like horizontal and come outside of this uptrend and wait for another good moment to come up, if it's really still within the build up for the distribution. That's one scenario. Or it has to go up before September comes, like within this month, August, it has to go up and basically challenge two key levels, these two blue key levels, and all the way through the white, so 3 in total, in order to get to the range where the buying climax was back in March 2024. So that's the path to the buying climax. It's still on its way, just that there's a little bit of bump over here. That's totally normal in a lot of charts during the PSY time where there are big fluctuations. And then if we go to the daily, here last time we asked, hey, is the price action telling us or going to show us a sign of weakness in the daily chart? Yes, indeed it happened. And then would it head to as like a new second test or an upthrust? Not to that level yet. Is like it's still building up along this uptrend, much like the dashed line I drawn in the weekly chart. This channel box has started since early May and is still continuing. While this line can be taken out, like I said, like if it breaks down the uptrend, it will form a new uptrend. The good thing here is it still stays within this uptrend yellow box. So as of this moment, it found support along this white line over here. That's an intermediate level of support by referencing the previous, that's the backup and last point of support period during the accumulation back in October last year. So as long as it stays within, stay within the upper half of this yellow box, then like I said, if it continues the buying climax in the weekly chart, in the daily chart, it will continue to head to the second test, the new second test, or even an upthrust if the price goes above these two blue lines. So that's consistent across both the daily time frame as well as the weekly time frame. However, if you just ask if it's not the positive scenario, if it really falls outside of this uptrend in the weekly and go back to test the green support or the key level, what would it look like in the daily? So daily would most likely be a horizontal trading within the yellow box, as long as it stays above this green line until mid-September. By that time, it has to stay at a higher level in order to stay within this uptrend, because you can see once I extend this channel box, once past mid-September, if it falls outside, even if it stays above the green, it has to develop a new uptrend in order to hit the upthrust level. That's the upthrust level for daily. For weekly, that's only the buying climax. So that's where it gets tricky when it gets closer. If it really stays just between this light blue and the green, if it stays above or at the upper half of this yellow channel box, you can see it's approaching a triangle as well, so, or wedge as well. So this wedge over here, or triangle, it basically it's the early or the first week of October. So if it trades along this line, sometime around early September to late September, it can go late into October, but usually it doesn't wait that long. It has to either break above these light blue resistance line to test the buying climax level that we talk about here in the weekly chart, or go challenge that level, or it has to go to the lower half of the channel box and hopefully find support within the channel box, like I said, right? If it goes outside, it has to find ways or find momentum to develop a new uptrend. So that's how it looks like for Uniswap. It's not an easy path, especially if we look at the volume over here on July 29th. That was a brutal battle over there. The candlestick wasn't very crazy, it's only a very short one. There was a big battle over there at this candle over here, the small one. Basically they want to stay above this channel box, but you see this triangle, so it didn't wait that long to show us it. Basically the bears over there said, let's return to this channel box to play instead of going outside. So that's the force that, I mean, after this period of launch of green bars during the around the 20th of July, there's just insufficient demand to sustain this kind of steep growth. So that's why it returned to a more like mild growth trend. So that's what the charts are telling us. So I would say is a healthy growth. That kind of trajectory is like some kind of formal action, and then now is like let's go at a steady pace And as long as we don't see some crazily high selling volume and it stays along this path, that will be a good trend heading towards the buying climax. So finger crossed is heading towards the good side, and hopefully it doesn't come down as quickly towards a new accumulation cycle, because at this stage it is a level that's quite close to where the accumulation, the top of the accumulation range was. So I I incline to not believe it's going back to that level yet. So good luck. See